It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies. Until the theaters open their doors for business again, we will be talking streaming and also some of our favorite movies of all time. Directors and actors beware, as you still cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim, joining us via walk-around phone from his palatial estate. Hello, Jim.
Hey.
And a quick shout out to Murray, who's still on hiatus until further notice. But with the introductions out of the way now, let's rage on.
Okay, so as usual, we've got a pretty jam-packed episode today. We're going to talk about South by Southwest and their online shorts program. We're going to talk about one movie that we streamed. Then we're going to talk about the Undoubted, and the Mesmerized list. We're going to talk about our film genre faves for documentaries and open rage, rage or dare, and then closing down.
Cool. Sounds like another jam-packed show. So without further ado, let's get on with it.
All right. Let's. What do you think, Lost Girls? Let's just jump in with Lost Girls. We'll talk about South by Southwest in a minute.
All right. So Lost Girls. Lost Girls was okay. It was directed by Liz Garbus. She's actually a documentary filmmaker, making her first feature. It was based on a true story about the murders of sex workers whose remains were dumped in Oak Beach on Long Island. It was okay, and Amy Ryan was really good as the mother and main character of this story.
Yeah.
There were a couple things that didn't work for me. Mainly Kevin Corrigan's character of the neighbor seemed a little contrived. I actually don't believe this person existed. I don't know for a fact. But it was just a little too convenient, and to be honest, I didn't really think he was even necessary to drive the film forward, so it was kind of So because of that and a few other things, overall it was a meh.
Yeah, I actually gave it a mondo, and probably for different reasons. I would kind of agree with you, specifically, about some of the, should I call them additional characters, or maybe just some of the outlined cast that's in there. But, one thing I was super surprised with, Gabriel Byrne. Like, I haven't seen him in a while.
He's so
and it was
good.
Like a really pleasant, it was such a pleasant surprise, right? Like, he just, and actually what made me want to get you to see this movie, because we talk a lot about films where it's based on real life,
yep.
Right? And 9 times out of 10, you usually come back, especially if they don't do it really well, in your opinion, you'll come back and you'll go, okay, I wasn't buying the rage here. People were not angry enough in this movie, and they should have made me
I do that a
angry.
lot. Yeah, this movie should have made me angrier.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if she didn't drive the bus, if Amy Ryan did not drive this bus to make you feel her rage, I don't know what movie could. She did, like you said, she did such a great job.
She was outstanding, and there's no denying that. I just there are just a couple things in it that, for some, how I am. Something gets in, under my skin a little bit, and I just can't let it go.
You can't enjoy the movie.
Well, I try, but sometimes you're right.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so
it was. Don't get me wrong. It was good. I did like the movie, but there are a couple of things that I just couldn't go mondo on it. But Amy Ryan, that performance was definitely mondo. She really drove the story. It was fantastic performance from her.
I have to laugh at you though, because you'll see a movie that, in all honesty, the movie was a rage, and we've even had this in the past. And you'll get it from rage to meh because of one actor, and say, yeah, but this actor was so good it had to move it to a man. I'm like, no, the movie was still terrible. But on these meh, to bring it to a mondo for you, it's like, no, it's not going to happen. I was so enthralled with her character. Like, I thought the director did an amazing job of showing these women, and from their perspective, that was the thing that caught me so into the movie. Was that? Oh yeah, it was from the mother's perspective.
It was totally from the mother's perspective, and that was pretty unique. Usually, you get a movie like that, it's all about the cops and the investigation, and in this case, I guess there wouldn't be much of a movie because what investigation? But
yeah, like that. I think if because Liz, obviously, it's a woman director. She had the mom interest at heart when she made this.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling, though, that if it wouldn't have been a woman, it wouldn't have had the same punch, for my opinion, for how strongly they looked at these mothers in this.
Oh, I can definitely get on board with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, for this was a Mondo for me. I fully enjoyed her and her journey, and it kind of changed my perspective a little bit. Like, for me, a big thing, is character, and I think her character drove me to love this movie, and just the fact that she was, was she the perfect mother? No, she's not.
No, not even close.
Because, but don't tell me my daughter isn't valued, right? And I think to move this to the political realm before we maybe wrap this movie up is the murdered Indigenous women that we've been living with here in Canada for a long time, and and they felt like second class citizens, and they're finally getting their light of day. So this kind of movie can put that.
Oh, anything that can shine
the light on that, right?
Absolutely.
Right. It doesn't. Everybody's got value. It doesn't matter whether or not they're considered a sex worker. And that was, one of the things from the movie too, right? Where she said, "Stop calling my daughter a prostitute.
Yeah.
She was a person," right? Like, it's like, no, she's not a second class person. She's still my daughter, and she loved her, right? So yeah, I was kind of crying a lot through this movie. I have two daughters of my own. Right?
Yeah.
It really spoke to me a lot.
Absolutely. So. You probably had a little different perspective than me, but as I say, I like the movie. I liked a lot of the performance, but overall it was still a meh for me.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go.
Okay, so let's talk about South by Southwest.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, all right. Well, so what I did
or do you want me to go first? I don't really care. Maybe
doesn't matter with me.
Maybe I'll go first, just because then
Yeah, sure. What the hell?
Because I gotta jump a couple of screens here to get our next music in for our next segment. So I'll go first. So here
good.
I'm gonna do my top 7, and then I'm gonna do my bottom 3. My bottom 3 won't take very long because I really don't want to talk about them much unless you have something to say.
Yep.
Here are my top 7 shorts from the South by Southwest Film Festival this year, which unfortunately they had to put these online instead of showing them, live in the theater for obvious reasons. At number 7, actually one of the Texas high school shorts actually made my top 7, which good on them. It is Chill, directed by Katie Gibson. It's funny little. It's got a funny little payoff at the end of it that makes it really worth watching. Number 6, Face to Face Time, directed by Izzy Schill, was part of their narrative section. It's got a really abrupt ending that was also rather humorous. My number 5 would be Basic, directed by...
Wait, so sorry, back up.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I was going to say, make sure that let us know, like, that one is under the narrative section, right?
Yeah, it was under the narrative section.
Yeah, so just for everybody listening, they were sectioned by animated, documentary, midnight, narrative, made in Texas, Texas high school. So the last one we said was narrative. What's the next one that you're doing?
Next one is Basic, which is also from the narrative section. It involved looking at pictures on a walk-around phone on something called Instagram, whatever that is. It was funny. Number 4, Mizuko, directed by Kira Dane and Caitlin Rebello. It is from the documentary section. It's about a woman's journey through a difficult time using a combination of live action and animation. It was just a very well-made film. Really liked it. My number 3 short would be A Bold Experiment, directed by Alex Milan and Andrew Miller. Also a documentary. About a dude that built a very expensive artificial bat cave. It was really interesting stuff. My number 2 was I'm Happy, I Promise, directed by Mimi Cave, part of the narrative section. It's the funniest short of all of them, so it had to rank high on my list. I laughed a lot in this short. Pretty good stuff. And number 1 for me was the one that kind of affected me more than any other, the rest of them. Broken Orchestra, directed by Charlie Terrell, documentary section. about the movement that ended up in repairing broken instruments for schools in Philadelphia. The documentary was uniquely shot and is the short from this festival that really made me feel something more than anything else. So that is my number one. Now let's just quickly buzz through my bottom three because they all sucked and I really didn't want to talk about them much. The third worst thing I saw was Stucco. It was just a dumb horror short. Didn't like it. Number 2 was Chicken of the Dead. It was a dumb animated short. I did not like it. And number 1, the worst short of all of them, was Modern Horror. It was just dumb. I don't know if I was supposed to sympathize or hate the subject. I really don't know. And that is the South by Southwest shorts in a pinch here, Jim. Any comments, or do you want to?
Where was? Oh yeah, I've got lots of comments.
Excellent.
We've got some very contradictory beliefs here, actually. So I love it. I love it when that happens. So, sorry, what was that last one you said that you didn't? That was your worst. That you
the worst was Modern Horror. Oh, it's so bad.
What section was that in?
I
in Midnight?
believe it was in. It might have been in Documentary, actually. It might have been in Midnight. I'm sorry, I didn't write them down for my.
You don't remember?
3.
No, that's okay. No worries. People to find this, all you got to do. It was on what, Monkey Chimp or Monkey? What was it called? Chimp.
MailChimp.
MailChimp. Thank you. So MailChimp. But if you just search South by Southwest,
yeah, just search South by Southwest Shorts 2020. It'll bring you right to it,
and you'll be able to find it.
And you can watch them all. There's like 57 or 58 of them, and it's cool.
Did you end up getting to see them all?
I watched every single one of them.
Yeah, so did I.
And Modern Horror is in Documentary.
There you go. So for me, I didn't hate really any of them. I tried to look at each one from the artist's perspective because, like, I've screened enough shorts in my day. For listeners that may not know, I've worked screening shorts for probably the last 10 years, and on average, I probably watch about 1,000, upwards of 1,000 shorts a year. So I get to see a lot of shorts. It's kind of one of my favorite type of films, just because I love it if a director can get their point across in a very short perspective and develop the characters enough and get in and out with it. So it's funny because some of the things you put in Rage were actually in my top, and some of the ones that you had in your top were in my Rage. So it's kind of funny because for me, obviously, I didn't full on rage on any of these docs. I tried to look at it from an artistic standpoint and why they were potentially in the festival. But I will go through my you know what? I'm going to go through my least favorite first. So my least favorite was The Voice in Your Head.
Okay.
I found it kind of the most annoying. It was in the narrative section. Saw.
Hello? Are you there, Jim?
Sure.
Okay.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. We're good.
Awesome. So Soft, which was in the that was in the narrative too. Hey, I did the same thing as you. I didn't put it down. And actually, one of my least favorite was Basic. I didn't like it.
Oh, really? I like Basic.
Yeah, it was one of my least favorites.
Interesting.
But now for my top 7, I just thought it was too basic.
It was very basic. It
didn't get fully developed for me.
It made me laugh.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there were some things that there were some of the shorts in there that I know most people would have laughed at, and maybe it was just the mood I was in at the time. I didn't find them as funny as I probably could have, or I didn't find they were as fleshed out as I was hoping to be. Honorable mention, though, for my top 7, so I did have one extra, was Talk Outside, and that was Made in Texas.
Okay.
So this is the one where they're in the bar and they're about to have a fight. And goes, let's take this outside.
Yeah, really?
And then they go, this is not the right place.
If I had a bottom 5, it would have made that.
Yeah, so it's true. It's funny because for me, it was like after about the first 2 things, and I was like, okay, I'm not really digging this. And then the way they ended it to me was actually good. So it actually wrapped it up, and I actually did really enjoy the ending. So my number 7 is Feel Wild. It's a narrative. I found it very funny, emotional, real life. Loved it. Asian American supermarket guy. Dialogue was amazing. And then I made a special note who thought masturbating would bring so much emotion.
Yeah, he bought the most expensive Civic, though. That was from that. You don't even recognize it. Jim, are you there? I'm not hearing you again. We seem to have lost Jim temporarily. Okay, we are back, and we've got Jim back on the phone.
Hey,
so
yes,
I can hear you just fine, my friend. So let's get back to it. I believe we were going over your number 6 when you kind of cut out.
Awesome. All right. So my number 6 was out of Made in Texas.
Yep.
It was the Paint Wizard. It was a doc, and it was a transgender painter.
Almost made my top 7.
Yeah, there you go. It could have been your honorable mention.
It could have been.
Hand in Hand was my number 5. It was a midnight. Frankie Goes to Hollywood, 2 Tribes. Loved it. Nice shorts and to the point. The moral of the story, never shake hands as people are gross.
Oh, yeah, that one was all right. People are gross.
People are gross, especially right now.
Yes.
Danny's Girl. Wow, what a surprise. I loved everything about this movie. This film was so fucked up. It was super mondo for me.
Fair enough.
Number 3 is Mizuko, which you already talked about.
Yeah, I love Mizuko.
Japanese Buddhist film, mixed media doc. The water in the room that dies as a Japanese word. Like it was such a well done doc.
No, it really was.
So creatively done.
Yeah, the creativity is what really did it for me, and it was just so well made.
And one that made your rage, but that actually made my top 2 was Chicken of the Dead.
It was so awful.
It was so awesome. Okay, so you want to hear my write-up on it? If it's a maybe, eat it, baby. Vegan nightmare, but for me, it's may we. Maybe that's why you hate it so much, because you're a vegan.
Maybe. I think I hated it because it didn't even make me smile, so...
I was laughing all the way through it.
To each their own.
Yeah, well, this is what's great about shorts, right?
Absolutely. They either hit you or they don't. They don't have much time to do it, so...
Yeah, and speak, your attitude, your mentality when you're watching it can be a whole different thing, right?
Yep.
My number 1... Just Hold On. It was a jury prize for Made in Texas. Right. It's a doc, a portrait of a girl holding on to stuff, especially sheep.
Really?
Sheep riding. Yeah, a future sheep riding.
The mutton busting one?
Yep. A future sheep riding, cancer kicking spy of the future. Love this movie so much, and I cried literally all the way through it. I thought that they really brought that little girl's point across. I couldn't believe a 6-year-old was riding a sheep like that. Too.
Well, yeah. So that's what mutton busting is. Get some youngins on riding some sheep, and they got to stay on for a certain amount of time. It's kind of like bull riding, but with sheep.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're anti that but to me, like, what was good about it is that she decided that wasn't right for her, right? So in that respect, she lived in that culture, and she was like, you know what, mutton riding's not for me. So,
yeah.
but she had no. This is a 6-year-old who pretty much spent her whole life in.
I will say
in the
that
hospital.
She was pretty cool. There's no question of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Inspiring, man. A 6-year-old that had her own mind. Like to me, it was like.
Yeah, I get it.
It's like if you make a doc about, hey, I love to torture dogs. Well, no one's going to really like that. But if at the end of the movie the person goes through redemption, you're all about redemption. You love redemption.
I do love redemption.
So yeah, that was number 1 for me. And it was one of the last ones I saw, and I was just like, wow, none of them have stuck me with me. That was one that did. So South by Southwest, I think he did a great job. I think there was nothing I hated, is what I would say. I think some I felt were weaker than others, but kudos. Actually, I'm glad they shared it online.
Glad they shared it online, and Well, as I say, the worst anything really got from me was a meh, other than my bottom three I really didn't like, but it's not like I had a long list of stuff that could have gone on that list. Really worth checking out, and just to let you know one more time, you want to go to mailchimp.com/presents/SXSW, and that'll get you right to the site.
Enjoy the week too, because I think it's not there forever, right? Like it's just they're obviously going to be there for a certain period of time. So
I'm giving you a big shrug. I'm giving you a big shrug of the shoulders right now, because who knows how long it's going to be up. So
take advantage of it while you can.
Yeah, better sooner than later for sure. All right, sir.
All right. Well, you know what time it is now. It's time to talk about submissions to the Doubted, Undoubted, and Mesmerized list.
It is indeed.
I have one for you. I think you're gonna love this one, because I know he's one of your faves of all time. So I can't see him not making the Mesmerized list. Mr. Sid Haig, who passed away not too long ago.
Yeah, Sid Haig. That's what's known as a no-brainer, my friend. If you have any doubts, just watch the movie Little Big Top, where he plays a clown named Seymour. When Sid is on the screen, I am paying attention. As I say, I wish he was still around, because man, he was fantastic. Love Sid Haig. So absolutely Mesmerized.
Wasn't his last movie that crappy movie by your favorite guy, Zombie?
Yeah, 3 from Hell. It was excellent. What are you talking about?
So terrible.
Directed by Rob Zombie. A fine filmmaker, I might add.
That was a hard race, but actually,
whatever.
That was the last one at least I've seen him in. I guess he was in a movie called Hanukkah, and then there's a movie still coming out.
I gotta watch that. Yeah, he's got. I think there's something else that hasn't come out yet, so who knows? But yeah, no, Sid Haig is totally Mesmerized. Just because actually, when I was I knew that you were going to nominate Sid Haig in advance, and I actually. Because it kind of brought Little Big Top back to me, and he played a clown named Seymour. All of a sudden, I'm like, who we haven't talked about as for Mesmerized is Mr. Phillip Seymour Hoffman. He would be Undoubted if it wasn't for the Hunger Games being his last films, but he's got to at least make the Mesmerized list, right?
Yeah, I would agree. Well, see, I didn't hate the Hunger Games franchise, so I think the last one was a mess. So I mean, the last one was kind of a two-parter, right? So I think he got back-to-back mess. Unless you count them as one, then we might sneak them in. But I don't think we can do that because they were two separate films. Oh, dude,
we can't start bending the rules for Phillip. I wish we could.
Even though he's dead, we can't break the rules for him.
We can't. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being mesmerized forever.
That's true. Well, yeah, I would 100% agree with you. That's a no-brainer for me too, buddy.
Right on.
All right. Well, did you have anybody for anybody else?
I got nothing else for you this week. What about you?
No, that was it for me. You know what? I had a couple as I was sort of thinking about things, but then I lost focus because there was too many other things to watch when I was doing nothing at home.
Yeah, it's all right. more for next week. Maybe we'll come up with a couple of good ones.
Yeah, especially we're probably going to be seeing a lot of stuff next week.
Indeed.
So
all right.
We're doing our special series this week. So this week we're actually going to be talking about our favorite documentaries. So I have to give a little bit of a preface here because we had differences of opinions on how we were going to do this. There's too many. Oh,
we're going to talk about this on the air, are we?
No, we're not going to talk about that on the air.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to say that we did specify these were not necessarily a specific genre. My opinion and your opinion differed on certain things, but we're going to do a special series next week as well. So documentaries are going to carry over to another episode next week.
Next week we're going to do music documentaries, and I am really looking forward to that.
Yeah, so am I.
I was actually looking forward to it this week, but that's a story for another time.
That's right. Well, okay, so we should. The question is then, should we make it just documentaries, or should we also throw in there actual live concert movies?
No live concert movies.
Or we want to make a separate one. we'll make that a whole separate one later.
Wow, I'm hoping. Let's not get to that. Let's hope that the movie theaters are open before we're getting to that. But next week it'll be music docs. Let's get on with this week. So this week, documentaries. So I think you're going to start it off?
I am going to start it off.
Right on.
I am going to give you I have 5 honorable mentions. And then I have my top 10 list. And my number 1 is by far my favorite doc of all time.
I'm going to follow the exact same format, so lay them on me.
This is great. So we won't confuse our listeners.
As we usually do.
Yeah, exactly. No, if we're confusing ourselves or the listeners, one of the two. So my number 5 on the bottom of my honorable mention list is Paradise Lost. The Child Murders of Robin Hood Hills. It's in 1996. Evil incarnate. Best courtroom doc, I would say. For courtroom docs, I think it's fantastic. Number 4, which I know you're not going to be as big a fan of because you didn't love it as much as me, but Hail Satan from 2019. A nice surprise.
I'm surprised it didn't make your top 10.
Well, you wait to see my top 10.
All right.
So to me, it was a nice surprise for all religious rights and equality. Look up the 7 tenets online of modern Satanism and tell me you do not want to convert. That's all I got to say on that one. Number 3, which I actually battled with myself whether or not I put this on there because I know it's very much a propaganda film, but to me, I love the propaganda of it. And I know there was a lot of staging that happened with this doc, but I really enjoyed it. It's Blackfish from 2013.
Okay.
Another great animal rights activist film. If a doc can have the power to change the minds of people, then to me it's got to make a list somewhere, right? So, I found it changed. Like it's put SeaWorld back to the Stone Ages for animals, and it's given animal rights a big push. So I loved it. Number 2 on the honorable mentions is One Child Nation, 2019. Dead Babies. Hard not to be shocked by this. So,
it was excellent.
It moved me significantly. Number 1 on my honorable mention was How to Survive a Plague from 2012. One of the best betterments of humanity films through severe activism, which sometimes I guess it's needed, right? It was definitely needed for this. Have you seen this one?
I actually haven't.
Yeah, so this is when people were dying of AIDS, and the government wasn't doing anything about it. It's super powerful doc, and I think anybody who we talked a little bit about last week about the people with movement disabilities and with that we saw from that doc and how that moved things forward. This movie is the same thing for people who had AIDS, so it's a great doc.
Cool.
Number 10 is Bowling for Columbine. Marilyn Manson as a genius, free guns from the bank, and traumatizing Charlton Heston at his own house. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Michael Moore making in my mind his best movie.
I agree with that.
Number 9, another animal rights movie, The Cove from 2009.
The Cove came so close to making my top 10.
This movie could convert anyone to being an activist for animal rights and saving the whales from the Japanese whalers.
Ugh.
And literally cried for hours watching this, and even afterwards.
It was powerful.
Of this movie, I had to look away, and the shit that you see in this movie is bad. It's just bad shit.
It's a hard watch, there's no question, but it stays with you.
Number 8 is The Redemption of General Butt Naked from 2011. It actually played at TUF, Southern Underground Film Fest. I'm not sure why anybody in Liberia has not murdered this guy yet. It's a must-see, traumatic doc. This guy was such a dick and did so much damage to the people in Liberia. So
I don't believe I've seen it. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's damaging too. I like damaging movies. Although this one, number 7, switches it up a bit. This is also probably not going to be too happy for my vegan friend here, but Jiro Dreams of Sushi from 2011. I know what the perfect sushi looks like, and I want to save my $300 and go to Japan and have it for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Or in my retirement, spend 8 years training properly to tenderize octopus with my hands. That's right. That's step 1 of the intern training program with Euro. Number 6 is Jesus Camp, 2006. Unfortunately, this was just a little bit better than Hail Satan and made it top 10.
There you go.
So
I'd say it's a lot better, but that's just me.
I would probably go back to a Pixie song when I say this monkey's gone to heaven. So, number 5, Spellbound, 2002.
Love
if you
Spellbound.
thought a spelling bee would be boring, you're wrong. Dead wrong.
Yes.
I love this movie. My top
So
5 are just movies I've watched multiple times.
Right on.
Number 4 is Birth of the Living Dead, 2013. George Romero started at 11, and it just went up from there. This is all about the birth of zombies, and which is my absolute favorite genre.
How have I not watched this movie?
I don't know. I own it. Once we can see each other face to face, we'll watch it together.
That sounds excellent.
Number 3, from 1998. Can you guess what it might be?
From 1998. That's my clue. A lot of movies came out in 98.
Not a lot of docs that were this good. The Thin Blue Line.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
A film that successfully argued that a man was wrongly convicted of murder by a corrupt justice system. So before we had all that Making a Murder on Netflix, this was the precursor to all of that. This movie changed documentary filmmaking for life. Number 2, Free Solo from 2018.
Free Solo. I'm actually going to be talking about that a little more. Not in my top 10, but I agree. It was excellent.
Yeah, Alex Honnold, professional climber who climbed El Capitan, best and most suspenseful climbing movie with the most fucked up climber in the world. This guy is messed in the head.
Yes.
And the fact that he would attempt El Capitan without any ropes.
Oh, it was tense,
insane.
man. It was tense.
Yeah, you kind of know he lives.
Yeah.
But I know I spoiled it for everybody, but all you got to do is go online and see it. But it's it's messed up. And I still will watch this movie. I'll watch it anytime I'm kind of feeling, I don't feel motivated enough to do something today. I'll put Free Solo on, and I'm back up to the game, man.
Nice.
Number 1 is The Crash Reel from 2013.
Okay.
I have seen this movie probably 20 times. It's another one of those movies. 15 years of Verite footage show the epic rivalry between half-pipe legends Shaun White and Kevin Pearce, childhood friends who became number 1 and 2 in the world leading up to the Vancouver Winter Olympics, pushing one another to eat even more dangerous tricks until Kevin crashes on a Park City half-pipe, barely surviving as Kevin recovers from his injuries. Shaun wins gold.
Yes.
Now all Kevin wants to do is get on his snowboard again. So this movie, to me, we've talked about I am not a big fan of sports movies at the best time unless they're a doc that is specific around it. This movie was this is a perfectly good example of when I was arguing with you guys the other week about, okay, well, tell me a movie that has, isn't about snowboarding or isn't about basketball or isn't about whatever. This movie is not about snowboarding at all. But the whole movie has snowboarding in it. This is about a family that comes together after a tragic incident. And this, again, another one of those movies that if you feeling sad about how your family is, or if you feel that, you don't have hope, this movie is a movie about hope. And I love this movie so much. But it was funny. I couldn't get in to see Everest back a few years ago when it first came out. And so the Globe Cinemas at our local here in Calgary was playing The Crash Reel. I said, well, I'll go see that instead. Yeah. It was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah, no, I liked it. That's where I saw it too, at the Globe. It's excellent.
Yeah, and Everest didn't even make my top 15. So there you go.
There you go. Nice. All right. You are done, and I am up. So let's go with my honorable mentions first. We're going to start with Jodorowsky's Dune from 2013.
Nice.
What would Dune look like if Alejandro Jodorowsky was able to make his vision? I wish we were able to answer that question. It would have been awesome.
I still have dreams of it.
It would be so good. Roger and Me from 1989. Michael Moore versus GM CEO Roger B. Smith. It's just entertaining. Really good first outing for Michael Moore.
It is good, yeah.
When We Were Kings from 1996 documents the rumble in the jungle in Zaire between heavyweight champion George Foreman and challenger Muhammad Ali. Just a really, really good documentary. A lot of old footage in there that just it's crazy that it all still existed when it was made like 20 years later. 78 by 52 from 2017 documents the 78 camera setups and 52 cuts involved with the filming of the shower scene from Psycho. I can't believe that what I just described is such an entertaining doc, but oh my goodness, it's so good. And my
I can't either.
Yes. And my other one is one that's from your top 10. It's known as Spellbound from 2002. Follows 8 teenagers as they attempt to win the 1999 National Spelling Bee. Really so good for all the reasons you said and more. Now for my top 10. At number 10, we're going with Going Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief from 2015. The Church of Scientology's inner workings, especially the story of the galactic ruler Xenu, will blow your mind. Number 9, Bowling...
Can I pause you just for a second?
Go ahead, my friend. Yep.
I'm going to say, so you're going to convert to Scientology, and I'm going to convert to modern Satanism.
I'm not converting anybody to Scientology. That ain't happening, my friend. Oh my goodness. So
I can go back to your number 9.
Number 9 is a familiar one because we've talked about it. Bowling for Columbine from 2002.
Nice.
Gun violence in Yankee Land, examined by Michael Moore and done very, very well. Number 8 is Honeyland, which I saw at the Calgary International Film Festival this past year. Beekeeping in Trying Times in the Republic of North Macedonia. Really, really good doc. Really worth checking out. Number 7, For No Good Reason from 2012. A profile of gonzo artist Ralph Steadman. Really, really good stuff. I just really enjoy watching this doc. I've probably watched it 2 or 3 times. Number 6 is another one that I saw last year, and for some reason, I know I saw it at a film festival in Calgary, and I'm not sure which. I apologize. It was either at the Underground Film Festival or it was at the International Film Festival. I am not sure, but apparently it was Underground. It's just been confirmed. It's called Midnight Family. About private ambulances in Mexico City. Try that again, in Mexico City. It's disturbing and heartbreaking, and it's really, really, really good. Number 5, I just saw recently because someone said I should watch it because it's got a lot of walking around in it. I am sticking The World Before Your Feet from 2018 into my top 5. Matt Green walks every street, pathway, and cemetery in New York City. That is a lot of walking. That is awesome. My number 4 is Crumb from 1994. An in-depth look into the home life of underground artist Robert Crumb. When you see the people in Crumb's life, it's amazing that he comes off as the most normal. Number 3. I'm cheating a little bit with number 3 because I'm sticking 2 documentaries into number 3 because I find that they're companion pieces to each other. Directed by the same dude. Number 3 is The Act of Killing from 2012 and The Look of Silence from 2014. Both these movies are directed by Joshua Oppenheimer, and I've combined these as one entry because if you watch one of them, you have to watch the other as well. In The Act of Killing, Oppenheimer gets former Indonesian death squad leaders to reenact the atrocities that resulted in 1 million dead back in 1965 and 1966. Then in The Look of Silence, he focuses more on the victims and the fact that they now have to live next door to people who literally killed their families. This is heartbreaking and sometimes hard to watch, but I think it's absolutely essential viewing.
I agree, man. Those are both good.
Yeah. Number 2, let's get back a little lighter here. Number 2 would be King of Kong, a fistful of quarters from 2007. I would say for me, this is the most entertaining documentary that I've ever seen. It's a snapshot of two rivals who are both trying to achieve the world record score on Donkey Kong. I was genuinely rooting for Steve Wiebe, the hero of this story, as he was trying to take the record away from Billy Mitchell, who is definitely the villain in this story. This movie is an emotional roller coaster, as you'll feel anger, laughter, sadness, defeat, and triumph. Overall, it's very fun and satisfying 90 minutes. Love this movie. And my number 1 documentary, and I kind of wrestled with myself a little on this one, but I'm going to say it's number 1 for the reasons I'm about to say. My number 1 documentary is Cowspiracy, the Sustainability Secret from 2014.
That's a great doc.
Yeah, this movie is the number 1 documentary on my list only because it changed my life more than any other doc. It caused me to seek out more information about both sides of an argument like no other film had ever done before. I spent weeks reading studies and then researching who made these studies and what would they have and who actually benefited from the results of these studies. And I was trying to make every argument both ways. And in the end, this film led me down the road that changed my life forever, as I am now vegan, and it can be tracked down, or it can be traced back to me watching this movie. It made me look at my role on this planet, both ethically and environmentally. Plus, I just feel better physically since making the choice to avoid the animal products in my diet. That is why it's my number 1, because it literally changed my life. So how can it not be my number 1?
Yeah, if you picked anything else, I'd say you're something.
There you
I don't
go.
know what it is. Let's say you're a dumbass. I don't know.
Fair enough.
No, and it's funny. I love that doc too. So interestingly, like documentaries is actually one of my favorite genres. I watch a ton of docs.
Absolutely.
And I don't know about you, but it was tough to get down to.
Oh, I had a list of like 40, and it was just, and I could have probably gone on, but I was like, you know what? These are the ones that popped into my head first. So these got to be the ones. So we narrowed it down from there. But oh man, there's so many good documentaries.
Yeah, and you know what the thing is, you know what? I think I'm happy that places like Netflix and Prime are really doing these things. Like right now, although it's not a movie, so I'm not going to really talk about it, is the Tiger King, right? Like this thing is blowing up. And what is it? It's a documentary series. So people are getting interested in these real life things. I mean, you don't want to talk about don't fuck with cats, but what this is going to do, I'm hoping, is push documentaries back into the forefront so that, they get more showings at the theaters, right? Like if people knew, if the talk of that people are getting from, say, the Tiger King now was because it was in one movie and people talked about it, more people would go to the theaters to see it, and then we'd have more documentaries making great documentary films.
So you're stepping on my rage right now, Jim. So just be quiet.
Well, I'm warming you up.
Well, maybe you're warming me up. Maybe you're warming me up. But
did you want to take your rage first, since I?
No, you know what?
Nicely into that.
Nah, take yours first, just because I got to operate all these silly buttons in front of me. So.
Boy. All right. Well, there's our docs for this week.
On that note, that's what's that?
So that's our docs for this week.
That's our docs for this week. So on that, let's get on with it.
All right.
Vision blurring. Rage taking over. Temperature rise.
Hee-hee. I hit it twice.
Attaboy. Thank God your technical skills are better.
I am so good. Oh, man.
You are. You're the best ever. So my rage this week, and it's not a super hard rage, it's just because I've been, and I mentioned earlier that I've been a big screener for film festivals for many years. And one of the things that I would notice about certain years that there would be like a theme that would come out. And it's not always necessarily driven directly at specifically at a certain culture or at a certain thing, but certain things will happen in the world. Like, I'll give you an example. And again, nothing that this makes me so angry, but it kind of, as a screener, when you're sitting down and watching 300 or 400 docs, and of those 300 documentaries, they're usually documentary shorts, by the way. Now, I'm not watching 300 documentaries in a short period of time for a film festival, but and that if you're watching either 300 or 400 shorts, and the theme is a large percentage of the theme is directed in one direction. It's almost like you can see it's kind of a leading indicator of what's coming in our society because it shows. So there's been times where every single person has got these point of view killings, right? It's kind of like this become a fad, and now point of view killings is where it's all going. I remember quite a few years ago, before the Me Too movement, there was a lot of films that had come through the festival circuit about women being raped, and it was like, by about the seventh one, I'm kind of like, I don't really want to watch another movie about, like, I don't even know how you would judge that. How do you prefer this movie about rape to this movie about rape? The movie itself is uncomfortable to watch. So it's one of those things that, from a theme perspective, I understand how that happens, but it's always surprising to see it when it makes it into a festival. And I think, so my rage is that was a bit of a long intro to my rage, but the focus of it is, when you're doing a festival, a film festival, and not saying that South by Southwest did this in any way, shape, or form, but if you have a theme that's sort of subtexted underneath all of the film, you can sort of go, hey, wait a minute, I can see that there's a subtext here. So I obviously don't want to make any commentary specific around South by Southwest. I hope people get to go and watch that festival. But what I guess I would say is, when filmmakers are making, obviously they don't know what other filmmakers are. So I just find it interesting when a certain theme gets into, like, obviously the people that are making the decisions for the film festival. And it's not like I said, I'm not pointing out South by Southwest. I've seen it in other festivals, and you go to the festival and you're like, wow, there was a lot of movies about carrots this year. What was that all about? Or, there's here the movie is like, okay, was there not enough good movies to put into the festival that you didn't have to have, say, 5 movies with a similar plot where there's like a serial killer? It's kind of like, okay, who doesn't love serial killer movies? I get it. But was there not enough content coming from the rest of the world that we couldn't get more diversity into the festival? So it's kind of, maybe I'm saying I'm hoping that the festival, I'm not sure if all the festival producers listen to our podcast. I wish they did, but I hope that they will have a better lens. When I go see a festival, and I know one of the things that Calgary Underground Film Fest does for their documentary festival, every single doc that they do is almost from a different theme. Like, they really do have a really good balance to that.
I'm all for variety.
So, yeah, right? I mean, who wants to go see 5 of the same plot of the movies, right? Nobody. So that's my rage. I don't know if you want to jump on the bandwagon, give your 2 cents.
No, as I say, the only thing I have to say about that is, every festival should have a variety to it. I agree that when you kind of beat the same drum over and over again, sometimes the message gets drowned out. So there's no reason to really focus on one thing at a festival. It's great if you take the best films. That's what you want to do. Sometimes it seems like, I agree with you, that sometimes theme takes over. But every festival should be coming from all sorts of different perspectives, and variety is always a welcome thing. So I'm with you on that.
Very cool. All right. Well, what do you got this week?
All right, sir. What do I got this week?
You said that I kind of had...
you touched upon it.
Your thunder.
A little bit.
Without even knowing.
You did indeed. But my rage this week is there are so many great documentaries that come out every year, yet so few of them get a widespread release. It is so basically what you were, spewing off about at the end of our little section there. It is time for the producers of docs to get them into more theaters and put some money into more advertising. With the budget of most docs a fraction of the cost of a major studio's narrative release, why not capitalize on that and make more bang for your buck? Why can't more documentary filmmakers get the Michael Moore treatment and get some money pushing their product after shooting is wrapped up? There are many examples of documentaries making some pretty good coin despite no advertising. Let's take. Well, I'm gonna take one. Let's take a recent. Let's take a recent example.
One that is.
Yeah, at least recent example that you happened to talk about just recently there, Jim. Free Solo from 2018, which by the way is excellent and worth checking out. It had little to no advertising that I ever saw, yet it made almost $29 million at the box office.
Ooh.
$29 million. Did you see an ad for it?
No,
me neither. So, imagine what it would have done with more places to see it combined with more advertising. Let's start treating docs as a serious money-making endeavor and get them into more theaters, please. Another example would be Inconvenient Truth. It got a little bit push behind it, and that sucker made, I don't even know, hundreds of millions of dollars.
A crap load of money.
Exactly. And it wasn't as good as Free Solo, to be honest. So
no, it was not.
So that is my rage for the week, my friend. What say you?
Yeah, well, you saw I kind of had alluded to that, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think they both kind of come from a different place, though, right? Like documentaries is usually somebody's passion for a certain endeavor. Right, and we talked about like that on some of our top 10, right? Like, for example, the Cove, right? That movie got made because that guy had a passion to stop the freaking Japanese from killing all these whales in this one village.
Yeah, but once these films get picked up by, there's no reason why we can't put some money behind it and get these things on more screens. So that's all I'm getting at.
Yeah, well, I think it's almost proven that things like I said, the Tiger King is on everybody's mouth. Yeah, right.
There's definitely an appetite for this type of stuff. There's no question.
Just so you know, the Inconvenient Truth worldwide made almost 50 million.
50 million? Okay, I thought it made over 100, but whatevs.
Yeah, well, maybe that was just in the theaters, though. That's just the theaters. So I'm sure afterwards it's done a lot more.
Oh yeah,
right?
But even at that, 50 million's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I'm sure it didn't cost them that much to make it.
Nope.
But yeah, I 100% agree. I think, this... But you know what I think the thing is? They have to make topics that the world wants to know about. Or things that's going to make you slap you upside the head, right? Now, I don't know why the Tiger King does. I think people are shocked about it because they don't believe that this is actually a real thing that's happening.
All right.
Know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. So it looks like we are in pretty much agreement on that rage. So with that said...
double agreement.
Double agreement. How often does that happen?
Not always.
No, not always. But whatevs. So, I see that's what you get when I'm running the board here.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
All right, sir. So,
all right.
Let's get on to
Rage or Dare.
Rage or Dare.
Yeah. So last week you were one of the first to pick Dare, I think. Unless we did it right over our very first episode. I think we got dared to see some of the theaters.
No, we've been plucking from the bag every week. This was the first
there you go.
Dare
so you
last
were the
week.
first brave man to pick Dare. And I dared you to see another video game movie turned movie. You
did.
Tell me everything you thought about my good friend Pikachu the detective.
I don't know that if Pikachu, Pokemon's not like a video game first, though, was it? I don't even know. Wasn't it like
I don't know.
Card thing?
Card game, maybe? I don't know. There was a TV show, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was like a collector's card game. But, then it morphed into a whole bunch of stuff because it got pretty popular, I hear. I hear people like the Pokemon.
Now tell us what you thought about the movie.
All right. I hate to tell you, Jim, but I'm going to have to apologize to you in advance. Sorry, Jim, but Pokemon Detective Pikachu was all right. Oh my
God, you were insane.
It made me smile quite a bit, and a few times I even laughed out loud. I mean, when Pikachu said, "Case closed, but still open until I solve it," that was hilarious. That was funny stuff. I'm going to be honest. If I had a kid and this was the quality of entertainment that was being produced as family fare, I'd be all right with that. Once again, I apologize, but no rage here, my friend. This was a meh.
You're insane, because I had to see that in the theaters, and I literally could not stand 5 minutes of the footage. There was a couple of funny parts, absolutely. You can't avoid a movie for an hour and a half and not make you laugh a couple of times. But the dialogue was brutal. The direction was awful.
Hey, man,
the script was even worse.
It opened up with Cubone. It had the little Pokemon dude with the bones on his head. That was good stuff. He was hilarious. Love that little guy.
How often do you hang out with Pokemon?
I've never hung out with Pokemon, but now I'm thinking maybe I should.
Oh my God.
I liked it.
Well, I'm glad you loved it.
I didn't love it, but it was all right. It was fine.
Sometimes you get a gift.
This is literally the first time that we didn't rage over our challenge, so it had to happen, I suppose.
I guess. Of course, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You were dared by me, and I hated it. So there's been times where you've liked things and I've hated it, and vice versa. So I'm hoping that the same goes this week, because this week it's my turn to watch one of your shitbag movies.
It is indeed. So on that note, my friend, go ahead.
I think I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna let you dare me to see a film then.
We're going dare, are we?
We're gonna go dare. Let's go double dare.
All right.
Double dog dare.
I'm gonna guess that you maybe saw this coming at some point. Because how could you not?
I've already got the worst movies out of the way. Whatever you give me is going to be better than Top Gun, buddy, and it's going to be better than Xanadu, and it's going to be better than Bryce 2. So whatever you give me, I am not afraid.
Are you ready, Jim?
I'm ready.
Are you ready for a little Vanilla Ice?
I love Vanilla Ice. I can't wait to hear what this is going to be.
Cool as ice, my friend. You are watching Cool as Ice. That is your dare.
Is it a documentary?
No, it is not. But you can't. I believe you can watch it on Amazon, so you don't have to look too far for it.
I sure hope so. I don't want to pay for this. Okay, here it is. A rap-oriented remake of The Wild One.
You got it.
1953. The heavy emphasis on the fact that Vanilla Ice has assumed the Marlon Brando role. I'm already excited to see this.
All right, well, you'll have to let me know how it is next week, because I am excited to have you see this.
No, you've actually just dreamt it up after knowing that Vanilla Ice is in a movie.
I'm embarrassed to say I actually did see this. And
Is this when you were in your rap days as a child?
It is. I didn't go to it on my own, so we'll just leave it at that. Having said that, you're in for a treat, my friend.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right.
And why am I getting stuck with it? Is he singing it at least?
What's that?
Was he singing it at all? Is there a hammer time moment in this?
I believe so. I saw it so long ago, but I want to say yes.
You know Naomi Campbell's in this.
Yeah. I know. I looked at the cast. So I guess you got that going for it.
Yeah. Well, and it's directed by a pretty bad director, too. So David Kellogg, who hasn't done a lot of good stuff.
I tell you. I wish you all kinds of luck.
All right. Well, we'll stand by for next week to see what I think of Vanilla Ice and Cold as Ice.
All right. So, with all that being said, It's that time, my friend, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm so sad we had this time together. Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage crew of Marie, who's on sabbatical, Stephanie DeRoy for social media, currently on leave from work stuff, Leonard Conlon for her artistic vision and photography, Leonard Conlon Photography. Listen to us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and on our YouTube channel if you prefer to listen on YouTube. We are always wanting your feedback, so please give us lots of feedback so we can make this a raging blast for all listeners. Please make us rage. Please, please. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.